Hi friends, welcome to this week's episode of Bridezillas. In today's episode, we have 3 juicy stories that will leave your head shaking again. In one of the stories, a bride decides that her sister's house is hers for the wedding without asking. In a second story, a bride expects her friend to choose her fiancé, to choose her wedding over her fiance's injury. And in the third story, would you write an essay to attend a wedding? OP had to do that, so that would be interesting. Stay tuned to hear more. This story is titled, Am I the A-hole for getting upset that my bridesmaid's friend skipped my wedding? I've had a long engagement with my fiancé. Got engaged in December 2019. We were supposed to get married in 2021, but you can understand why that couldn't happen. So our wedding happened this past weekend. One of my best friends was supposed to attend as a bridesmaid, but she skipped last minute because of an emergency. To be honest, I was mad she skipped because the emergency happened almost a week ago, so she had time to figure things out and attend. So what happened was that her fiancé got a car accident and was hospitalized. He was hospitalized for 5 days, and on Friday, he got discharged to go home. My friend had told me from the day he got into the accident that she'll skip the wedding just to be sure, and I told her we'll see. So when I saw that he got discharged on Friday, I expected my friend to show up at the wedding after all, since his situation is not as dangerous right now, and I texted her, but she said she'll not be able to make it. She kept saying how he's still not well and being discharged doesn't mean he can stay alone without care for many hours, and since my wedding day would start at 9 a.m. on Saturday with the preparation, etc., the ceremony would be at 7 p.m. on Saturday evening and the reception or party would last until Sunday morning hours, she couldn't be away from home for that long, and she said she would compromise if she could only attend the ceremony. I said I don't want her there just for the ceremony, and she's a bridesmaid and supposed to be by my side the entire time. I also said that she should find him some care for the day so she can freely attend the wedding, and I suggested inviting either her parents or a friend to stay with him for that day. His parents live far away. She said it's not the same, and she won't feel right being away for the entire day. I got pretty upset because she seemed to totally disregard my wedding after so long making preparations, and while I understand it's her fiancé, I was mad she didn't find a compromise to attend. She claims her compromise would be to just attend the ceremony and then go home again, but she's a bridesmaid. If she's not there for the full experience, it would be pointless. She said I'm an a-hole for making her feel guilty about caring for her hurt fiancé, and she said that his situation takes priority over my wedding. She said she's not sorry for prioritizing her significant other's health over me at this point, and if I was a good friend, I'd understand instead of guilt-tripping her, and that I better not complain if I'm ever in a difficult situation and I need my husband's help and support, and he chooses to attend someone's wedding over caring for his wife. So, am I the a-hole? This is a true case of a bridezilla. I can't imagine why everyone seems to believe, or some people, not everyone, but some people believe that just because it's a wedding, everyone needs to put a halt to their lives, regardless of what's happening, and cater to their whims. This woman expects that her friend would leave her sick fiancé for an entire day. Actually, this would be 2 days because it would be from Saturday morning all the way to Sunday, just for her wedding. I do understand that you made the preparations for long, but that doesn't mean one has to throw away their life just for your day. As you can imagine, Reddit deemed her the a-hole. Wow, that didn't come as a surprise, did it? This story is titled, Am I the B-face for telling my sister she couldn't have her wedding at my house? I'm a 36-year-old female. I'm the middle child of 5 siblings. My sister, Abby, is the next to the youngest, and is what I would call the golden child. Not like I have a bad relationship with my parents or anything, but there is favoritism when it comes to her. I love my sister, but I keep my distance simply because of her attitude. About 4 years ago, I bought a foreclosed fixer-upper home and some land on the outskirts of town. It was a proud moment for me, but of course, Abby had to be shady. Her response was, "This was all you could afford? Why would you go buy something that needs to be condemned?" while frowning in disgust. Then she goes on to say that she will never step foot in my house and has kept true to her word. I'm a visionary. My home is an old and big farmhouse that I've taken the time to fix up over the years. My family hasn't visited since because they are city people and their excuse is they are not up for the drive, which is like an hour away. It does sting a little that they don't come visit, then in the same, I expected it. Abby is in the midst of planning her wedding. She's also a bridezilla. I understand about wanting your day to be special and how you want it, but her attitude sucks and her demands are ridiculous. She came crying to our parents about not being able to find a venue. The venue she booked backed out because of her ridiculous demands. She wants an outside wedding. She decided to look further outside the city, unbeknownst to me. My mother called me one morning because Dad, my parents along with Abby and her hubby-to-be, gotten lost, so I directed them to my house. It was frustrating as any other time I'm in their presence. They complimented my home, but in the same breath, they pointed out that they, that is Abby and my mom, would change and what they didn't like. I couldn't wait till they were gone. Later that night, Abby calls and tells me that she was having her wedding at my house. I kindly tell her no, and she asks why. I told her I had my reasons, but it was no. Said it was my duty as one of her bridesmaids and her sister to oblige her request because she's the bride. BS. My mom calls and asks me why I am trying to destroy Abby's wedding. I respond, how am I destroying her wedding? Because I don't want unfamiliar people at my home. I ask, would they pay me? That is, my parents are paying for her wedding. My mother said I should be ashamed of myself for trying to shake them down. Excuse me? I'm looking at the bigger picture. Packing, setup, breakdown, cleanup, etc., etc. I told my mother she's always been her enabler to her attitude, and now I see where she gets it from. I told her my home is just that, my home. I received a text from my sister kicking me out of her wedding. I replied with a middle finger emoticon that said, F you, now my family is taking sides. So, am I the BF? Well, this one's hard. On one side, you'd like to be nice, but someone can't just ask. They decided that her sister's house is the wedding venue, whether she wants it to be or not. I don't think that was polite, so OP had every right to refuse to host this wedding. If I were in her position, I would refuse to host too. I mean, why would I host someone who has been rude to me all along, visited my home once, and decided it's that venue? And that comes up. Why was it the only time that they decided to visit is when they decided this would be a perfect venue? That seems suspicious. Leave your ideas or your comments down below so I can hear more about what you think about the situation. This story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to RSVP to my sister's wedding because I'm required to write an application essay just to attend? Yeah, I know this sounds insane, but I'm living in it. So, my sister is getting married next February. Destination wedding, no less. I have doubts whether this wedding is actually going to happen with the pandemic and everything, but she is totally set on moving forward. Anyways, because of the pandemic, her original venue has made her cut down on guests because they are cutting capacity by half. As a result, she's sending out re-invites that asks anyone to RSVP again. But in order to figure out who to invite and who to cut, she's asking all confirmed guests to submit a 250-word essays to 2 questions. The gist is that they'll use these essays to choose who can come or not, based on people's enthusiasm. People who don't write the essays at all will be automatically disqualified. I just feel really insulted by all this. The questions aren't even pandemic related. It's broad topics like, why do you still want to celebrate these days with us? And what will attending our wedding mean to you specifically? So she's blatantly looking for Pot to kiss behinds and tell her why they really want to go. Anyways, I told her in advance that I'm not writing 500 words on why I need to attend her wedding, spend my own money on plane tickets and hotels, and buy her a present. This has really rubbed her and my parents the wrong way. She said that to keep things fair, if I don't fill out the RSVP correctly, I won't be saved a spot. I said, fine with me. Then my parents said if I don't show up, I'm going to be in big effing trouble with all my relatives, so just write the essays. Am I the a-hole if I stay stubborn on this? I'm already annoyed at the thought of spending thousands and coming home to quarantine. But I will not belt out 500 words on how this is totally my choice. Am I the a-hole? Edit. OP is 27. Is a 27-year-old female. She doesn't live with family, but this is her only sister. The sister has framed these questions as surveys, but there is a word limit requirement, so if you don't reach it on the Google Forms, you can't even submit. Parents think this is perfectly reasonable, nice even, because sister is letting everyone have the chance to attend. Oh wow, this is a massive to take in. I can't imagine having to write essays. Unless you enjoy writing, that would be the only reason why you would enjoy writing this letter. Okay, this essay, this wouldn't be a letter, this would be an essay. So I'm writing this essay for his sister to rub her ego, essentially. I think in any other person's mind, the best idea would be to invite the people closest to you and let it be. Just tell everyone else, unfortunately, they are unable to invite them anymore. It would just mean that these people also don't have the capacity to act out or do not want to look mean. Anyway, as you would have guessed, Reddit labeled OP not the a-hole. And I agree. Thank you so much for staying tuned to today's episode of Bridezillas. It has been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for always engaging. Don't forget to leave your comments down in the comment section below. Please subscribe and like this video for the algorithm. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.